All right. Today we're getting into section 8.2, okay, which is the first section on what are called conic sections, okay? Chapter 8 is all about conic sections. First one is parabolas. Okay, so we all have an idea of what a parabola is. So if I asked most of you what a parabola is, you would say y equals x squared. That's true, okay? So our first example is y equals x squared. Okay, but we actually have a more precise definition. Okay, so a parabola, uh, sorry, a parabola is a set of points equidistant from a given point called the focus and a given line called the directrix. Okay, so we'll look at this, our example, y equals x squared, for example, has focus 0, 1/4, and directrix y equals negative 1/4. Okay, let's just see how that works, okay? So let's take the set of points that are equidistant from 0, 1/4 and y equals negative 1/4. Okay, let's show that that gives us y equals x squared. Okay, so let me draw a little picture here. Okay, all right. So we're going to have a point here. Let's say this is our 0, 1/4. Okay, and this is our line. Let me draw it in, let's say orange. That's our line y equals negative 1/4. Okay. So now what's going to happen is that, okay, definitely here, this point is the same distance if I've drawn that well, which maybe I haven't drawn it as well as I could, but that's okay. Now, as we go over here, okay, this distance and this distance are the same. Same here. Okay. Let's say we're over here. We have this distance together with this distance. Okay, so we end up with a shape that looks like so. Okay, so I like to think of it, and this is sort of heuristically, but I like to think of it as you move away from the directrix around the focus. Okay, just sort of a way to remember how it's going to move once you're given this information. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this and see algebraically that this gives us what we want. Okay, so let's take the distance formula. So let's let xy be on the given parabola. Okay, so by the given parabola, what I mean is x and y are the set of points satisfying this condition, equidistant from 0, 1/4 and y equals negative 1/4. Okay, so then that's going to mean that x minus 0 squared plus y minus 1/4 squared should equal y plus 1/4 squared. Okay, so how is that working? This x minus 0 squared plus y minus 1/4 squared, that's the distance from this given point xy to the focus. Okay, and the y plus 1/4, that's just this vertical distance to the y equals negative 1/4. Okay, so this is y plus the 1/4. Okay, so now we're just going to algebraically see what comes out. So we're going to get x squared plus, we have to multiply that out. So we're going to get, when we FOIL that out, we're going to get y squared minus 1/2 y plus 1/4. And on the other side, we're going to get y squared plus 1/2 y plus 1/4. Okay, so now this term and this term will cancel. This 1/4 and this 1/4 will cancel. And we'll move this negative 1/2 y over here. We'll add it, so we get y equals x squared. Or rather, x squared equals y, which is equivalent. Okay? Okay, so in general, we're always going to look at our parabolas. They're going to be either oriented vertically, as this one is, or horizontally. Okay, we're not going to look at slanted ones where our directrix is slanted. You can do that. We're not going to look at that here in this class. Okay, so there's really 4 types of parabolas we're going to look at. I should say 4 orientations we will look at. Okay, first one is just like the one we did. Okay, I always get a little confused. Let's make sure. So x squared equals 4py. Okay, so if I have x squared equals 4py, what I'm looking at, and you can see this kind of should be like the y equals x squared. Okay, so it's going to have this orientation. Okay, our focus is going to be at 0, p, and the directrix will be y equals negative p. So focus here, directrix here. Okay, the next one we're going to have is x squared equals negative 4py. Okay, in this case, it's just oriented down. So, oops. So, as I was saying, here we're going to have a directrix here at y equals p, and the focus at 0, negative p. It's going to, again, move away from the directrix around the focus. Okay? Okay. Let's look at 2 more orientations. I can fit them on here, I think. Don't like to do that, but I will do that. So let me make some space there. Okay, the next orientation is going to be y squared equals 4px. Okay, so in that case, it's just going to be oriented to the right. Okay, so like so. Okay, our focus is at P comma 0, and our directrix is x equals negative P. Okay, and finally, as you might guess, the last one's going to be y squared equals negative 4px. Okay, where our focus is negative P comma 0, and our directrix is x equals P. Okay. That one's a little tiny here, but we got it. Oh, let me redraw that. Okay, one more time. The shape drawing tool's gotten better, but means I have to work around it. Okay, all right, so those are your 4 types of parabolas, okay, that we're going to be dealing with. All right, I'll see you all in the next video.